happy readers. Today we're going to do a little sit-down vlog and talk about Oppression by Jessica Therrien. This is a debut author. She came out with this book on February 28th, so it was about last week, and I finished it a few days ago and sent it off to the next person on the debut author tour. But I really liked this book. I thought it was a nice change of pace from what I usually read. I had never read anything that had to do with like gods on earth type thing before. I've never read Percy Jackson or anything like that, which I explained the premise of Oppression to one of my friends, and she was like, yeah, that sounds kind of like Percy Jackson. So Oppression is about this girl who, she and her family seem to not age as fast as humans usually do. They're about 5 years, you know, slower than the usual. She knows there's something a little bit more to that than just the slow aging, but she's not quite sure what it is. It's not until she comes in contact with some people who are like her, who are in that community of descendants, as they call themselves. The whole story is going off of the idea of the Greek gods, but in the story they say that they weren't actually gods, they were just people with magical powers and like things like healing and having, you know, mental powers over people and being able to, there's one girl who can, I guess she can do things with light. I wrote in my review, finally a debut that I like. I've been reading a couple other ones that I've just been kind of like, but this one just like really, oh my gosh, I could not put down, like literally just had it in my hands, just could not do it. I stayed up late one night and I was just like, I can't. I was sitting there falling asleep, seriously, and just loved it. There were times that I thought it was going to turn into the Mortal Instruments series. I've read City of Bones, it's the only one I've read out of that series, but there are times where I was like, the Institute, oh no, no, no. But then it would turn into like its own story and I was like, okay, okay. And like there were times where it kind of reminded me of like, not Harry Potter, but like that whole premise of, you know, her parents have died and she's like this whole, you know, the chosen one type thing, the person who's going to save their human race, their race of people, that kind of thing. There were a lot of sexy times in this book. I kind of wish there was a little bit more action, but the sexy times were like spot on, good stuff. I feel like those kind of needed to get out of the way because these two individuals are quite adorable, quite awesome, and it was awesome. Yes, yes, yes. There were some intense moments, don't get me wrong. There were times where you weren't sure when or who or what was going to survive because all this crazy stuff was going on and you're like, why is she following Kara into the woods? This is not a good idea. But I like the intense things where you're like not sure if somebody's going to survive or not. I like cliffhangers like that. I like those. I'm not sure about the ending of this book because it wasn't quite as cliffhangery as it would have been if she had stopped like a chapter before that or something, but I thoroughly enjoyed the whole story. I enjoyed Elise's character. That's the main character, is Elise. And I thought she was a good, strong character. Like, she did have that, like, she had that power struggle within herself. And I like those kinds of things where she's like, you know, I have this new lifestyle coming into my life that I'm figuring out about. I guess, like, that whole, you know, descendants type thing that she's figuring out about. But she's like, you know, do I really have to change who I am in order to fit into this whole community? Also, I like how she does get kind of like ditzy around William, but not in the way that, like, not like not getting stupid, but just being like, oh my gosh, I really like this guy and it makes me feel all butterflies in my stomach kind of thing. And I thought that that was really cool. But she doesn't let that get in the way of her and her friendship with Anna, which is something really cool because Anna is like, I would call her like the muggle friend, like the friend that like has nothing to do with the magical, not magical community, but like the descendants community that that Elise is a part of. I feel like I've been all over the place with this review, but basically I really enjoyed it. I really thought that it was a good story. I thought that it was a great first debut novel thing. The first debut that's kind of repetitive. So basically I thought this was a great book, a great debut novel for Jessica Therrien. I think this is gonna totally like solidify her as a good author person, yes. So yeah, I think you should go pick up Oppression wherever books are sold. I will put links below to places that you can buy this book from because that would be awesome, because it's always good to support the new kids on the block. Yes, okay, goodbye!